Well, you're at the right place at the right time. My name is Brian Westbrook. I'm the founder and executive director of Coalition Life, and I am so excited about this year's spring webcast. Welcome, and we're so excited to get going here today. We have a lot of amazing guests that we will be speaking with today. We're going to be covering so many topics like the abortion ballot initiative that's happening here in Missouri. We're going to cover topics like our sidewalk counseling and our Women's Care Connect team and some of the legal battles that are happening here in the Midwest and across our great nation. We got a really great lineup. I'm really excited to share this information with you. But let's start with a word of prayer. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this day and the gift of our lives and for the amazing, amazing things that you are doing through all of us and for the things that are happening here in Missouri, but also around the Midwest, Illinois, Kansas, and so many other states here in the Midwest. And we're excited. We're excited to have the opportunity to save lives. Be with the technology and be with the people here today, that your voice would be heard through the work that we do here today. Amen. So very excited about the things we're doing here at Coalition Life, especially our amazing team that's making this happen here today. And I wanted to bring on our Chief Operating Officer, Rachel Hiley. Rachel, welcome to the program.
Hey, Brian. Thanks. It's a pleasure to be part of the team and here today on the webcast.
Well, Rachel, we have over 40 staff members and thousands of volunteers who are making this a reality every single day. And somehow, some way, you manage all of these people. So, Rachel, thanks for doing all that.
It truly is a team effort. We couldn't do it without each member of our team doing their various parts.
Well, Rachel, we've been doing this since 2011. You've been with our team for now over 8 years. And so kind of take us through a little bit of history of what Coalition Life has been doing and what we might be doing a little bit of here today.
Gosh, Brian, over the last 12 years, Coalition Life has just grown and expanded so tremendously in the scope and reach of our work. The nature of our work has stayed the same throughout the whole thing. We started 12 years ago with the mission of peacefully and prayerfully ending abortion, and here we are today with that same goal. It just our vision for it is a little bit broader. We started off with just the St. Louis area, then the St. Louis region, but all the work that you and others did early on in the formation of this ministry and have continued to do over the last 12 years have resulted in this St. Louis method of sidewalk counseling, which is just downright effective. It reaches women in that very last moment. It speaks to them and gives them the opportunity, the courage, and just the ability to turn around, to stop in their tracks and make a new choice. And as we've grown throughout our ministry, we've really recognized that that's something we can't just keep in St. Louis. And so over the course of the last 3-4 years, we've worked pretty intentionally about, well, let's move that and expand that and share this gift that we have as a ministry with the rest of our country. So far, we've done that throughout Missouri, Illinois, and Kansas, with our most recent expansion to Overland Park, Kansas. And of course, 3 abortion facilities being covered down in Carbondale, Illinois, on top of Fairview Heights, and Flossmoor down in the southern Chicago area. So right now we're covering sidewalks at 6 different abortion facilities, all while maintaining our pregnancy center support here in St. Louis at our headquarters. And it's really exciting to see the growth of this ministry over the years and knowing that we have no intention of stopping.
Well, we've seen lots of turnarounds in front of these abortion facilities. We've been out there in St. Louis for years, and then eventually in Fairview Heights. And you mentioned other locations, including Carbondale, Chicago, and Kansas City. But we hit an important milestone recently, didn't we, Rachel?
We did. It's one of those milestones that doesn't indicate completion, but is fun to celebrate along the way. And that's our 4,000th turnaround we hit this year. And since then, we've continued to get more. And as we hit 4,000, we then look to 5,000. And so we're constantly looking to see how quickly and how effectively can we help these women turn away and find hope in life-affirming resources.
Right, and well, we've seen now well over 4,000 in almost 4,100 turnarounds outside of these abortion facilities. And a turnaround is a woman who had decided to choose a better alternative for her and her baby. So we're excited about that and excited to see them eventually choose life. Again, you said 6 abortion facilities outside of those, and many of them were just adding very quickly. Just within the last year, we were at Kansas City and then also Carbondale Planned Parenthood. And just this year, 161 turnarounds just this year so far. And we're on a path to have one of our best years ever. So, Rachel, tell me about our team and how we're growing and expanding.
As we've talked about, we've got coverage at 6 different abortion facilities. So we've got teams scattered throughout Illinois, Missouri, and Kansas offering sidewalk counseling. We've got our Women's Care Connect team here in St. Louis at our headquarters. But we're always looking to grow. I mean, with our model of sidewalk counseling, it 100% relies on the bodies to be there. It's a ministry of presence. Simply by being there, being trained professional sidewalk counselors on the front lines, we're able to have those conversations and reach out literally at the last moment, where without us there, those women are walking into the abortion facility and likely terminating their pregnancies right then and there. We have to be there. And so we're looking to grow not only to new sites, but to enhance our teams at the sites that we're already at. The more trained professional sidewalk counselors we can bring onto our team, the better we can cover every single hour those facilities are open and make sure that there's not a single woman at any of our service sites, but eventually across the entire country, that would ever seek an abortion without first having the opportunity to meet a loving and effective advocate for life.
Well, thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you for all that you do to help support life. And thank you for being on our team.
Thanks, Brian.
And now we're going to move on to Anne Marie Miller. She's with Aid for Women. They are growing and expanding throughout Illinois. And I was able to catch up with her earlier this morning. Well, thank you, Anne Marie, for being with us on the webcast today. Really, really excited about what Aid for Women is doing. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having us. We're very excited to be joining you on your podcast today.
Well, so one of the things we know that's happening is you just opened a brand new location down in Carbondale, Illinois. One of the locations we are there, we have 3 abortion facility sites we're outside of doing sidewalk counseling. And we've had a lot of conversations about Carbondale, and we're really, really glad that you guys are opening a site there. So tell us about that exciting news.
Yeah, so, as in all the framework of things that happened ever since Dobbs, that there have been people needing to find other places to come to have an abortion because in their states they have had restrictions put on by either by law or by time that they are not allowed to pursue that in their own state. Many of them are in the southern states, particularly 11, I think, in the southern area of the United States. And these women needed to find a place to go. And so the opportunity opened up for abortion clinics to open in the southern part of the state. They looked for an area that was easily accessible and willing to have them. So they opened up in Carbondale, which is easily accessible by Amtrak. It's not far from St. Louis. And so that side of the issue has well advanced in that area and are providing abortions on a daily basis to a pretty large amount of them. And so there was a need for the pro-life side, to have an answer to that. And we are a medical answer to that. I know there are some other pregnancy care centers that have been in the area for a little bit of time to answer that need, but not on the medical side of things. And Aid for Women is a pregnancy care center. We have 6 of them up and operating now in the Chicago area. Our Carbondale clinic will open in a couple of weeks. And we're also opening in Rockford, Illinois. But Carbondale will be up and running shortly and will be able to provide that medical care. They will have medical professionals there that will be able to do medical grade pregnancy tests. They will be able to meet with a nurse and advocates there to walk them through what exactly abortion looks like, so that they have all the information that they need before they can make an informed choice. Because we know that walking into an abortion clinic, they don't necessarily get the full picture of what they are going to be going through. So we will also be able to offer them ultrasounds so that they will be able to see if it is a viable pregnancy. And hopefully they will see that heartbeat, and it would change their mind, between the education we provide and that medical piece.
Thank you, Anne Marie. You do amazing work up there in Chicago and now down in Carbondale, and I'm sure many other places as time goes on. And we are so grateful that we can work with you and you can service those clients that we meet directly in front of these abortion facilities, and we can continue to collaborate as time goes on. So you guys do amazing work, and we're glad that we can enhance that work by working together. So God bless you. Thanks for being on the call.
Well, thank you so much. And we are recruiting volunteers and staff down in Carbondale. So we would love for anyone to come down and in that area. If you're wanting to branch out and do something different, we would embrace that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, Anne Marie, I really appreciated the time we were able to spend together. We were talking about all kinds of different variety of things, but we thought we would share that portion of our talk this morning. We are so grateful for our pregnancy centers. There's 3,000 pregnancy centers around the country that service these women. The pro-abortion movement says that somehow that we don't care about the women, but in fact, we're the only ones providing real tangible choices for these women. And so to talk about that is Jackie Olympio, who is one of our lead sidewalk counselors. I was also able to catch up with her earlier as well. Let's see what Jackie has to say. All right, well, today I have Jackie with me, who's excited to share us about our sidewalk counseling efforts here in St. Louis, but also around the Midwest. So Jackie, welcome.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
And so what does it mean? Like, what are you doing when you're training our team, whether they're volunteer or staff? What are you doing in that process?
Yeah, so we have 6 sites that we sidewalk counsel at currently. And so at all of those sites, we have anywhere from like 4 to 15 sidewalk counselors that all need time to learn how to sidewalk counsel, be trained up for the first few weeks that they're here. But then also there's so many different encounters you have in front of the abortion facility. You encounter the women themselves, their families, and there's a lot of different aspects that go into really giving a good counsel. So we spend time each month with each counselor, and even we spend a lot of time even with our volunteers to do mock counseling sessions. So we get to practice different scenarios. I will, and the other people that help to train will go out on site and actually evaluate as an encounter is going on, obviously not interrupting, but just seeing how that goes. And then even we do record for safety and training purposes as well. And so we're able to actually use that to improve how we might encounter the same dynamic in the future. So it's extremely helpful. It's very beautiful to see as well, because nobody can be in 6 places at once. So it allows, me to analyze Monique over in Carbondale, who does an amazing job counseling, to actually hear what those conversations are like with her clients and how she gets her turnarounds, and to really emphasize the key part skill that God has given her that makes her different from the rest of us, and see if all of us can replicate it or at least learn from it in some way.
So we've got a lot of learning out there on the sidewalks, and we've been doing this for 12 plus years, and you've been with us for many years now. So Jackie, tell me, what is the impact of sidewalk counseling? What does that actually look like?
Yeah, so sidewalk counseling is the last line of defense for abortion minded women. So it's really important to make sure we're educating the culture about the reality of human beings' lives beginning at conception. It's really important for all the different, every aspect of culture is important. But we are there right at that last moment, right before the woman enters the abortion facility, to be God's hand reaching out to her saying, don't do this, choose life for your child. This human beings are not disposable. And we just have to constantly refute that lie that is so prevalent in our culture, that a human being is just elective, that you can elect to have a baby or not, because the majority of abortions are elective abortions. So sidewalk counseling, the heart of it is, just realizing the value that each of us have, and being the direct contradiction to the lie that life is disposable.
And Jackie, tell me about some of the stories that are happening there in front of these abortion facilities. What's going on, and how can we be excited about these victories?
Yeah, so I have a really recent story. I'm very excited to share it because I wasn't even on site. I was in one of our different offices, and I started getting notifications to my phone for prayers, and that the Fairview Heights site needed some backup. So what had happened was Isaac, one of our sidewalk counselors out here, had a woman turn around to get an ultrasound at our mobile medical unit. We work with great pregnancy resource centers, and we not only have our own pregnancy resource center, of course, but also we work with the local ones too. So they were getting her an ultrasound, but we know that at one point the ultrasound is over and the woman has that decision point. And so it was so cool to see, because our site manager out there, Sherry, was waiting to notify the sidewalk counselors that this woman was available again, so that he could interact with her again, because he had so much to say to her. So first of all, she got to spend about an hour with our pregnancy resource center. But then upon return, he spent another over an hour. I think it might have even been 2, because we got a prayer request like almost an hour later, again in our prayer request chat. Please pray for sidewalk counsel right now. And I was like, oh, he's still going. I knew exactly like what was going on out there because of the call. And so this whole time he's counseling this woman who felt like she had zero support. And he was, not only were we using the St. Louis method, of course, with getting the material support, but then the deeper counsel that happens after they receive that. And he just took it upon himself to really focus on that woman. And so his backup sidewalk counselor, Leanne, was just taking charge of all new people. Any new woman that came in, she was taking charge. So it was just really neat to see the entire team was working together to really make sure that this child's life was taken care of and that this woman was taken care of. And he got as deep to talk to her about God, and he asked her, what would God want you to do? And that Mary, Jesus' mother, had an unexpected pregnancy, and that God supplied all that she needed too. And then she said, I just don't have support. And so he started asking about her. So what is your family like? And got to know that the family actually would support her because of her past children that she had and the evidence that she had in her life for the support that was already there. So this is just an amazing thing, because he, at the end of the day, was like, please pray. She's still undecided, but she went home, and she was, and it was not I'm going home to come back tomorrow, if that makes sense. So it was just a really beautiful turnaround. Please, everybody, pray for that woman. But it was also really neat to see, as a lead trainer, that I wasn't even there, and I saw the entire team working together to really, because it is about all of these babies, but it's also about the individual you're given in that moment to counsel. And he really does do a great job focusing on that.
Well, thank you, Jackie. You do an amazing job with our team, and we thank you also for being on the webcast.
You're welcome, and God gets all the glory. He's doing great things. So thank you, Brian, for having me, and thanks so much for starting this thing.
Well, it's so amazing to have Jackie on our team and our over 40 different staff members, not to mention the thousands of volunteers across the Midwest who make this a reality. We are so grateful. And right in the heartland in Jefferson City is a dear friend of mine, Brandy Meeks, with the VK Foundation. Let's see if we can get Brandy on the call there. There you are, Brandy. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're having a lot of fun here. We had a little technology problem as we started, but really good to see you. I saw you at the Midwest March yesterday, and you were able to talk to a lot of people out there. And what can you tell us about some of the challenges? I know Vitae's been around for a very long time, but what are the challenges we're seeing here in Missouri, but also across our great nation?
Sure, but first I want to mention, did you happen to tell everybody about that really great award you got yesterday? Are you sitting on that? He got an award everyone yesterday at the March, just so you know. He's probably pretty humble about it, may not have shared about it, but it's kind of a big deal. So
yeah. Well,
great.
they gave me this Champion of Life award, so I was honored. I was honored to be able to receive that award yesterday. I brought some of my children with me, and it was written out to my wife, Anthony, Marisa, and myself together. And what was she doing to protect innocent life? She was taking care of our 5 other children while I took care of the 2, and they have a big performance this weekend. So
very cool.
Yes,
cool.
Yes, so great. Well, good to see you, Brandy, yesterday.
Good to see you as well.
And thanks for being with us briefly here today.
Sure. So let's talk about threats, right? We're seeing some things nationally. We're seeing some things at a state level, but overall, we need to be very, very vigilant to understand what's going on with the abortion pill. So many times we hear things like, oh, Missouri's an abortion-free state. And of course, you're serving more than just Missouri, but sometimes we find some safety in that and some refuge in that. And while we should find some pride in that, because it means that we have done a really great job defending life here in the Midwest and with our values, we need to be keenly aware that the enemy is on the prowl and using whatever technology and tools they can have at their fingertips through those things to be able to get the abortion pill into our loved ones' hands, essentially. And so we have to be aware of that.
Well, Brandy, we talked a lot yesterday about this ballot initiative that's happening here in Missouri. So tell me about this ballot initiative. Why is this important, and why should we be paying attention to it?
Sure. So the thing with the ballot initiative is that we have to be aware about what is truly in the language. And so much has been spun up as, making it seem that it's less than what it is. The truth of the matter is it's abortion up until birth. Every time that I have done any kind of interview besides radio, any kind of print interview, they've actually misquoted me to say it's abortion up until viability, because that's what the other side is saying, but it's simply not true. It's up until birth for any reason. And that's, again, one of those things that we need to be aware of. Just like the abortion pill tends to slip itself in as being something more simple than what it is, it truly is dangerous, and we need to be aware of it. And also, we've got to be able to communicate effectively with our circles of influence, not in a combative way, but in an educated way to help them understand truly what is in that ballot language.
Well, I know that they have until, I believe, this Sunday to turn in those ballot petition signatures. And we heard that potentially even tomorrow they might be sending them in. If someone wants to remove their signature, isn't there a website? Do you remember the website? We need to.
You're going to put me on the spot, Brian. I know you can plug in the website.
Well, I do, so I'll share it. So with withdrawsignature.com, if someone believes that maybe it's signed by mistake, or if they believe their identity may have been stolen, withdrawsignature.com is a way to get that done.
Can I also add, just so people are aware of this, they were going to nursing homes to do this. Yeah. So if you have a loved one that's in a nursing home that might have been approached, I would encourage you to work with them to be able to get their names withdrawn as well, because in many cases, they probably had no idea what they were signing on to.
Exactly. Well, tell me, Brandy, give me a little endorsement of Vitae Foundation and the great work you do. We're excited to be able to partner with you on a number of different variety of projects. I know you do a lot of advertising for pregnancy centers. So tell me how important that is and the important work of Vitae and as we continue to move forward.
Appreciate that. So our focus is essentially on research, and we do different types of research than maybe what you would traditionally think about within the pro-life sphere. A lot of people think about surveys and polling, and while those are great things, especially for political projects, ours is emotional research. So we use right brain research so that we can clearly understand what goes into decision making, especially for people who are choosing abortion or thinking about abortion. So how that really goes into play with the work that you do is essentially you're working with people every single day that are considering abortion. And so what's really great about the work that we can collaborate on and do together is that we can bring the research to you and to the companies and organizations that you work with, so that together we can collaborate to truly create a culture of life, because it's going to take all of us in our unique roles to be able to do that. So, and what do donors love to hear more than anything? Collaboration, right?
Absolutely.
And so that's what's really great about the work that we have been able to do together lately, working on radio ads to be able to educate the public about what is truly in the ballot. And then additionally, being able to continue to work together so that we know the right words to use whenever we're talking with women considering abortion. And we're getting ready, hopefully pretty soon, to do a men's study where we want to understand better about how to communicate with men about the issue. We've done the general public, we've done women specifically, we've done abortion healing projects. Abortion pill reversal is a big project that we just wrapped up. And for those that aren't familiar with abortion pill reversal, that's the opportunity after someone takes the abortion pill to complete a progesterone reversal, or sorry, be able to a progesterone process that allows them to reverse the abortion pill. A lot of people don't know about that. That's where we come in to try to raise awareness about that. But we're really thankful for groups like Coalition Life that get it, that understand clearly that there is a really effective way to do something, and you guys are doing it well. And so we're thankful for any opportunity that we get to pitch in and say, hey, how can we work together more closely so that we can save more women and babies and ultimately families from abortion?
Absolutely. And I think that's abortionpillreversal.com if our listeners are want to check that out as well. It's not directly connected with either one of us, but
that's right.
The work that they're doing as well. And the one thing you said there, Brandy, which I love, is collaboration. I have seen the pro-life movement be so unified in the last several years. Post Dobbs decision, I've seen some amazing things come out of Missouri, and unification is the word that we're continuing to talk about. So, Brandy, thanks for being on my call today on our webcast.
Absolutely.
If you ever need me to do something on your webcast or events or whatever, let me know.
You better watch out for
I
what
said
you
it
ask
publicly
for.
now. You're right.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Well, thank you, Brandy. Well, we've been talking about sidewalk counseling. We talked a little bit about research in this ballot initiative, and now we're going to talk about our Pregnancy Center Women's Care Connect. Back in 2015, we started this ministry as just a basic phone call to the women that we turned around at the abortion facility. We made these phone calls, and we thought, well, maybe we'll have a chance to talk to them. And they did. They started responding, and they said, hey, but I went to the pregnancy center, but I had this other thought or this other problem, and I didn't have a chance to talk to them or forgot about it. And so I need to talk to someone more. And so we kept calling these clients that we would turn around at the abortion facility, and they kept bringing more and more and more needs to our table. And so we continue to expand that Women's Care Connect program to what it is today, a full-blown medical pregnancy center with ultrasound, pregnancy testing, and also STD testing to continue to serve these clients even better. And in fact, we got all kinds of variety of statistics. We have well over 4,800 clients who have joined us, and we've been able to serve them since 2015. We've seen over 429 ultrasounds we've been able to do, and we're so glad to have our nurse on staff. She's pretty darn amazing. We're blessed to be able to continue to show a picture of these babies to these mothers. And just in the last year, we've seen over 1,000 clients and we've been able to serve. And to tell us just about that is Rena, who's here with me in studio today. Is this a studio?
Yes.
So, Rena, welcome to our program today and our webcast. Rena, you are serving with our Women's Care Connect team. And we want to talk about all the amazing work that you guys are doing. I know you were just talking with many clients already this morning. While you were waiting, you were already still working with our clients. And so thanks for carving out just a couple of minutes with me here today to talk about the work that you do. So thank you.
Of course.
So, Rena, tell me why you joined Women's Care Connect. What kind of excited you about doing this type of work, and what kind of things does Women's Care Connect do on a daily basis? Maybe our listeners don't know.
I joined Women's Care Connect because I wanted to help women in crisis situations, especially through their pregnancy. I was a young mother myself in a crisis pregnancy, and a lot of people weren't there for me. So it's good to be able to be there for others and help them in a way that actually makes a difference. We do that by offering them free services and fully informing them of their options and what exactly those look like. A lot of these women don't know, and just sitting down and having conversations with them makes a big difference.
And sometimes these are lengthy conversations, right?
Yes.
And so one of the things I really, really love about Women's Care Connect is it's grown from a simple phone call of, hey, how was your trip to the pregnancy center? Did you get what you were looking for? To now a full-blown, one of the best pregnancy centers in the nation, but I'm a little biased, right? And you guys do really, really amazing work for our clients. You go above and beyond 24/7. They can call and talk with a real person. None of these answering machines, 24/7. You guys are on call, and they can talk with our team at any point along the way. And I know that you guys go the extra mile. You stay late. While the hours on the website are the hours on the website, but I know I've seen you here early in the morning, late at night, and you guys work your tails off. So tell me, I know that there was an interesting story recently that you wanted to share with us today.
Yes. So recently we had a client named Danielle. She went to Planned Parenthood with the father of her child for an abortion. She went into Planned Parenthood, and after meeting with one of our sidewalk counselors outside, decided to leave the abortion facility. On her way out, she got Women's Care Connect number and reached out to us. From there, we immediately brought her into Women's Care Connect, performed an ultrasound, a medical grade pregnancy test, and discussed with her all of her options. She was in a really difficult situation, as many of our women are. She has 3 children under the age of 6, all different fathers. Wow. Yeah, one who passed away, no support from family. She has no job. She did have housing, but she had furniture. She had no beds for her children. She just didn't know how she could have another baby. After discussing with her the situation and what she was going through, by the end of the day, the resources we were able to give her, she had chosen life for her baby, and she's really happy. Her other 3 are girls. She's really stoked to have a little boy.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Now, so maybe you mentioned it, but how did she make it to the abortion facility in the first place?
So we actually had to Uber her. So she didn't
Not
have
to the abortion
Oh,
facility?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The father of the baby took her. So she contacted him to let her know she was pregnant. And he wouldn't talk to her at all. He said the only way he would discuss anything with her is if he could drive her straight to Planned Parenthood to have the abortion. So she agreed to that, and she got into the car and was taken to have an abortion. And after meeting with our sidewalk counselors, decided she wasn't ready for that yet. And she was open to meeting with Women's Care Connect.
And so, but the boyfriend didn't want to drive her to the pregnancy center,
No,
right?
he did not.
So this is the thing. So we sent a car
He did.
all the way from Fairview Heights, Illinois.
Yes. So actually, she went home first. We sent her home.
So and I see some, on our expense reports, there's like Uber, and all these different variety of taxi cab services. We want to make sure that there's no obstacles for them to be able to ultimately come here, talk with our team, so that they can ultimately choose life and see a picture of their baby. Rena, any words for our audience today that are listening? Any kind of background secrets with Women's Care Connect? Anything that you could share with them?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that a lot of these women who come in, they just aren't fully informed. They just need the opportunity to sit and know what abortion looks like, what parenting could look like for them, what creating an adoption plan can look like for them. And there are resources available to them, whether it be here in St. Louis or in a different state. We can help them, not just with the baby, but with whatever's going on in their life. A lot of these women are alone. They just want support. They need someone to talk to. And we provide all of those things for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Rena. I appreciate you being on our webcast today. And I'm sure you have plenty of other work to do that is pressing right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Brian Westbrook here with Paula Julich. Paula, where are we? What are we doing?
We are in Jefferson City, Missouri for the Midwest March for Life.
And so what is the Midwest March for Life? Why do we come to Jeff City? Why does this matter?
It matters because now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned at the national level, the battle is in the states. And right now we are fighting the pro-abortion forces who want to enshrine abortion in our state constitution.
This is awesome to bring all the energy of the whole state together under the banner of our Lord, to let all of these businesses and all the people in this city and this state see the enthusiasm we have and see the righteousness and the love of God. It's incredible to come together with so many different agencies like yours, Brian, like Coalition. So that's what we're here for, to let the world know.
For Life, Melissa, welcome. Excited to see you here today. Why are we here?
We're here because Missouri is a pro-life state and will remain a pro-life state. We are one of the most dedicated, committed states. And really, when I even look around the world, people are watching what's happening in Missouri. We serve women, children, and families so well, and we're not going to have that change. So we're here to celebrate what we've done and what we're going to continue to do.
What are we concerned about? Is there anything to be concerned about here in Missouri?
Well, we know nationally, right, out of 7 initiatives, we have lost the battle for life in all 7. And all eyes are on additional states like Missouri. And, you know, what I really wanted to encourage people to do today is still have hope and stay the course, because we are not going to allow abortion to get a foothold back in Missouri. This victory that we have had over the years is not going to become a defeat. And it's because of ordinary people who make an extraordinary difference every day.
So, Melissa, what should we be encouraged about here in Missouri?
We should be encouraged by the fact that in many ways, we are under attack. I mean, I know this is not enjoyable. None of us want to have money going to ballot initiatives and all this sorts of things. But the fact that we are a threat to the abortion industry and their lobby is something we should be encouraged by, because that tells us about who we are and the difference that we make. So I say be encouraged by that, but also, right, be so wise and discerning with that to know who we're up against and use, you know, the attacks that we're under to have those conversations about the incredible efforts that we have in Missouri that defend life, that serve women and families well. So I think we should be excited about that, but more so, we need to be excited about who we are in Missouri. The organizations, the leaders, the everyday people who make a difference, we need to celebrate that.
What are you excited about? What's coming down the pipe that's going to really make an impact here?
I'm excited about God. I'm excited that God is definitely on our side, and we are on his side. Actually, he's not on our side, we're on his side. And we know that we're doing his work. You know, and if we're doing his work and we're growing closer to him by defending life, then that's a good thing. The fact that we're growing closer to him because of this work was what really brings us here more than anything, is to do his work and to grow closer to him.
Hi, Donna. What are we doing here today?
We are marching for the unborn. We have a couple thousand people here, a lot of young people supporting the unborn, and we are just happy to be alive.
What kind of things are you doing in the pro-life movement? Where do you see the most impact that we need to be having?
I think as far as myself, I'm on the sidewalk praying every week, every Friday with Coalition, and I think the most impact we can give to our future generations is education.
Give me one example of how we can educate those about abortion.
I think opening their eyes, being on the sidewalk, praying, learning what the truth is about abortion, and supporting Coalition is an unbelievable way to get that word out.
About Coalition Life, why is it important to support Coalition Life?
Coalition Life they're the first ones you see when you enter your facility for abortion, and they are both passionate and unbelievably devoted to the unborn. And it is very important that we continue to support them financially and spiritually in all that we do.
Well, thank you to our amazing crew who put together that little montage. I literally shot that video yesterday, and they were able to pull it back together in less than 24 hours. So we have a really, really great crew here at Coalition Life. My next guest is one of my heroes, and he um, he hasn't come on yet, so I could talk about all these amazing things about this next guest. But he is leading one of the most amazing national organizations who is supporting the work that we do on the ground here. His name is Peter Breen. He is with the Thomas More Society. Peter, welcome to the webcast. Good to see you today.
Hey, great to be with you, Brian. Thank you.
Well, Well, we are so excited about the work that the Thomas More Society is doing. Ever since day one, back in 2009, we were starting 40 Days for Life in St. Louis. You and Tom and everybody have been supporting us every step of the way. So, Peter, thank you for that first and foremost. But give us the landscape of what's happening with regards to abortion post Dobbs. What are you seeing the biggest challenges we're seeing?
Well, I would say this: we've now split up into blue states and red states to some extent. Our work in the blue states, as we call them, Illinois, which is just across the line from Missouri, where obviously Coalition Life has been wonderfully active. We're having to redouble or retriple our efforts in states like that. So we are, right now we've just launched new lawsuits against the state of New York, which is trying to shut down pregnancy centers in that state. We've got lawsuits against the state of California, same thing. We beat the state of Illinois on one of those restrictions that would have gotten both sidewalk counselors and pregnancy centers and turned your speech into misinformation. So it's a tough environment, but we are really scoring victories in these blue states. I would say in the red states, and you were talking about abortion amendments that are on the ballot. We've got a really unique opportunity to be able to save a lot of lives. But at the same time, we've got to be very cognizant of how do we do that within the realms of politics, and which is that's an area I'm very familiar with, having served in the Illinois General Assembly. But it's one that it is tough. It's a very difficult thing, and so certainly we've got to keep our moral bases about us, and then how do we kind of figure out our practical politics. I'm often telling groups, we're called to be, wise as serpents, innocent as doves, and in the pro-life movement, we have to do that sometimes. So, we've got practicalities fighting us there. But I'll tell you, Brian, I know, the way the media is, and trying to get clicks online, you want to be negative, because it gets more people's attention. But when you look at the pro-life movement nationally and where we are and where Coalition Life is really leading, we're making incredible gains. And we've got a lot of work to do, but we are making incredible gains. It's going to look, I'll tell you something, for folks who've been around for a long time, we've been 50 years of Roe v. Wade. Things are going to change a little bit in the way that we're fighting. And you're seeing it now. In the next few years, it's going to really settle out, I think, a new status quo. And, we're just going to have to figure out where we can be most effective, each of us. And certainly the work of Coalition Life is not going to end. If anything, it is only more necessary than ever before.
Well, one of the things we're going to talk about Carbondale and the bubble zone in just a second here, but we were working on a case together in Kansas City. There was a gentleman with a trombone came running and charging at one of our sidewalk counselors. So tell us about that case and how that ended up.
Well, that was our most recent little, these little, here's the thing, they're little sidewalk scuffles on the one hand, but they can turn into big cases on the other. This one, what happened is a crazed abortion escort, came up, really started approaching very threateningly towards one of sidewalk counselors. Another sidewalk counselor got in the way, made contact. And well, wouldn't you know it? The police are sitting there, they're watching, they don't do anything. With this crazy guy out there, it's kind of obvious why they didn't do anything. They go, there's a nut out here. Well, wouldn't you know it? They let him make a police report and took our person who stood in the way to try to stop this, contact, took our person into custody, took him down to the local police station, which I mean, just nuts. And so, fortunately, that they were allowed out quickly, and so we were able to retain a very very skilled local criminal defense attorney who got the whole thing tossed out. But I'll tell you, it's and of course we've been threatening the city of Orland Park with lawsuits if they don't stay off of you guys. But what we found sometimes, this is one of those examples. We love to talk about all the cases and the wins and this, that, and the other. We don't mind winning without firing a shot. So,
Right.
not a great situation. We do not want anyone taken into custody. But I mean, it was unavoidable. But really, we came back. I mean, the city had to drop the charges. I mean, they just, in fact, I mean, when we, our guy put in his appearance, they backed off. And
Right.
so, that has been a good thing there. And I'll tell you, Brian, to some extent, having clients like you who are very much on top of things, I mean, you're systematic, you are organized, you've got a real plan. It makes my life a lot easier trying to help defend you. If things go sideways, well, I mean, you've got the video, you've got all the evidence, and just look at it and go, hey, our guy or gal didn't do it, and in fact, the other guys did it. And so far, I will say, I haven't heard from you lately about Overland Park, so I'm assuming everything is going well there. And so,
Yeah, I don't
it's
want
a
to have
new.
a client,
I know, yes.
lawyer
If
client
there are others that, yeah, give me a call.
conversation with
I,
hundreds of people
yeah,
watching.
I
Right.
will tell you. I mean, Brian. So we just. I mean, I like to kind of give you a rip from the headlines as we're talking. My legal team has been up all night, all morning for the last 5-6 days because the New York Attorney General threatened all of the state's pregnancy centers over their speech on abortion pill reversal in this particular case. But it's the same sort of thing you guys were facing in Illinois. That's the same thing you face everywhere. They're trying to stop your speech. It's one thing for government if a radical government wants to promote abortion. I mean, they have a right to do it. It's not correct. It's not right to do, but they are able to do it. But the other side is trying to squelch your speech and squelch the pregnancy center speech, try to stop the pro-life movement from doing our needed work. And so that is, that is a place where we're proud to stand beside you and defend you as best we can. And we're really, I'll tell you, our team is I've just got a team of utter aces, and they are working very hard, both for Coalition Life and for others around the country.
Well, so
And
tell
we're
us.
finally getting some sleep. So that was the other thing. It's man, I can't pull the all-nighters like I used to, I'll tell you.
Right.
So, like multiple in a row. It was crazy. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a
Well,
good set of
my
paper.
wife would
We're
prefer.
getting.
My wife would prefer that I not stay up until 2 a.m. sometimes, but every once in a while, she's like, can you just turn the light off and stop working for a few minutes? And she then hands me the baby, and I have to do laps around the house, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, the kiddos know if you're awake. The kiddos know, they'll come find you. Like,
they will.
child, it is way too late for you to be up. Yeah. So,
Right. So, hey, so tell me about Carbondale, and then we'll let you go here.
Sure. So Carbondale, which is this bucolic little city in way southern Illinois. So an hour or so south of St. Louis. When I was in the legislature, I used to joke with the state senator from there, a wonderful pro-life legislator named Terry Bryant. We used to joke and said, Carbondale is closer to Alabama than Chicago. And, and you've got to get folks, jar them a little bit. But this was a town that had no abortion clinics in October of 2022, none. And they're now up to 3. And in fact, and you would know there's probably more in the works, but they've become a hub for all of our neighboring states. So anything within range of Southern Illinois, and then everything in the southeastern United States. So pretty much they're funneling all of these women up to Carbondale. It's also train lines, so you can get there from, I believe, as far away as New Orleans. So you've got New Orleans and Texas women coming up to little Carbondale, Illinois. And so Carbondale is also a unique town because it has Southern Illinois University, which has a very liberal student body, as you might expect. And so they elect a very radical city council in the midst of a sea of pro-life, good folks. So it's an odd duck in that way. They put in place a bubble zone. So it's an anti-speech zone which prevents you from going within 8 feet to present someone with a leaflet, or to speak with them, advocate to them, talk, just give them alternatives. Well, this should be flagrantly unconstitutional. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court, about 25 years ago almost, in a case called Hill v. Colorado, allowed these anti-speech zones. Since that time, the Supreme Court, especially in the last 10 years, Supreme Court justices have constantly, they've just over and over and over again criticized that principle, that somehow you can say, well, outside of abortion clinics, we can have no speech zones. When you'd sit there and go, they wouldn't do that for any other topic, but it was because of this abortion distortion in the law. And the Dobbs decision, which actually someone reminded me, it was leaked. The decision draft was leaked 2 years ago today. And so that Dobbs decision had in there a footnote, and they called out Hill specifically and said that was a distortion of First Amendment principles. And so that is a reason we said to ourselves, City of Carbondale put in place a Hill v. Colorado style restriction. It's hurting Coalition Life's ability to freely go and chat with folks on the public right of way peaceably, offering assistance, just the basic blocking and tackling of what you guys do. So we took them to court. And it was interesting. I mean, all the local media were they said, oh my goodness, they're suing Carbondale. Now we knew, but it's kind of an odd thing. I don't like to go to court to lose. However, in this case, because the Supreme Court had made that decision and other courts of appeal, so ours is the Seventh Circuit, covers Illinois. They had a few years back said, hey, you know what? We think you're right. I mean, really wrote a decision where the judges said, yeah, you're probably right, but the Supreme Court has to overturn its own precedent. And so for that reason, we needed to lose in the trial court, go up to the Seventh Circuit. And we just got news that the Seventh Circuit has now resolved our appeal, 2-page memorandum opinion. And so now we are clear to go to the U.S. Supreme Court. And our petition is due in the next month or so. We can extend that deadline just a touch if we need it. And our hope is that we will get that petition for certiorari heard early in the the next term will be in the fall when they distribute the various petitions for certiorari to the judges, to the Supreme Court justices and their clerks. And what we are very hopeful for is because the U.S. Supreme Court just said that this case precedent was a distortion, that we will be able to be granted cert. We can have this case heard, finally put to bed this horrible anti-speech precedent, which certainly, obviously, Roe v. Wade was probably the most unjust decision ever issued by the U.S. Supreme Court. But Hill v. Colorado is certainly one of the most unjust as it relates to free speech, certainly in the modern era. And so we're hoping to put that to bed, and maybe, again, in the fall, maybe get a decision on the petition. And then if granted, then we would have oral arguments later than in 2025. And with any luck, by middle of 2025, the bubble zone will be gone in Carbondale, and every bubble zone throughout the country will be gone. The state of Colorado has one. City of Chicago has one. Lots of places have these horrible laws, and it is time for them to go.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. I think when we were talking about filing this lawsuit, I said, I don't know, I really don't want to file a lawsuit. Do I really want to put my name behind this? Do I really want to do this? And I think I remember you saying, well, every other group comes running to me and they want to sue people, and all you guys want to do is actually save lives on the ground and do the hard work. So those are fun times, and thank you for representing us. Thank you for working really diligently and for giving us an update on all of those.
Absolutely. And I thank you for everything you guys do. And I mean, we're so honored and privileged to be able to walk with you and just help keep your guys and gals on the street and just continuing to do your work of saving lives.
Well, thank you, Peter. Well, now we have a chance to talk about so many different things that we are moving forward on. So we talked a lot about during this webcast, many of the things that we have done. We've done a lot of work with sidewalk counseling. We've done a lot of work with our pregnancy center. And as you just heard from Peter, we're going to be doing some additional work through Thomas Miller Society, including our on-staff attorneys who are working diligently on these lawsuits and other things as well. Who knew that we would be getting involved in these types of things. But the pro-abortion movement is dragging us into, and we have to respond to those with legal action as well. And also, we talked about the initiative petition and how we really need to inform people about how radical this is in the state of Missouri, because we know that if Missouri can stand against these, then we can continue to take back our country and defend our pro-life positions. So what are we doing now? Well, we got a lot going on, and we have a great team of volunteers, a great team of staff members. We are looking to expand and grow. And so there are 690 abortion facilities, roughly 692, according to this map specifically. And as you might notice, most of the abortion facilities actually sit on either the West Coast or the Eastern Seaboard, or this state in the middle called Illinois or Michigan. And so you can see on this map many of these states on the southern part of the United States, they have dramatically limited or completely eliminated abortion in those states. And so we're looking at places to go and expand and continue to bring what we have done in St. Louis, in Illinois, and now in Kansas City across our great nation. So we're going to be turning our attention to the Eastern Seaboard, and first and foremost to Atlanta and Florida and South Carolina and many of those states. In fact, my wife and I and our children will all be going on a 30-day trip to scout out and understand what abortion facilities we will be taking our mission to. In fact, we will be traveling to over 20 different states in this process. We're prepping now. Our team and our volunteers have been working diligently to help us to understand where the best places our methods could be executed. And we're working diligently to be able to see and meet many of the leadership throughout the entire Eastern Seaboard. So look forward to that trip. We're very excited to be able to do this. And we couldn't do these kind of things if it wasn't for the great people behind the cameras and the lighting and everything else like this. We couldn't do this without our great team who makes that happen, including our staff and volunteers, and also our legal team through Thomas More Society and our legal team here at Coalition Life. And most importantly, it's about each and every single one of you who is watching here today. We couldn't grow and expand. We couldn't even think about going to another 100 or 200 abortion facilities nationwide if it wasn't for you. And so today, we just want to thank you for supporting us for the last 12 years and continue to support us here today. And so with that being said, we're so excited to be able to announce today a $250,184 matching challenge that will start today all the way through May 10th. That's a lot of money, but a handful of donors have put up this money, and they are challenging you. They're challenging me to be able to continue to support mothers in their choice for life, whether it be on the sidewalk or whether it be through our pregnancy center, or as we continue to grow and expand throughout the entire nation. And so today we ask you to please pray about this, but also act quickly. We need to be able to hit this target within 8 days by midnight on May 10th. That's $250,184. So let's pray first, and then I'll show you how we can make these donations and support the work that we do here today. So let's pray. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the opportunity to serve you, and thank you for all of these amazing guests who are on the program today. Thank you for all of those who are listening, whether it be now live or during the recording after the fact. Thank you for all of those who made this possible. Today, we're considering supporting this great ministry, all the people who are part of it, all the volunteers who make it possible, and also the expansion and growth. We're looking at going to so many different places around the country, clear the path, make it abundantly obvious where we should be going next, where we should be investing our donor dollars, our very, very generous donor dollars. Help us to understand where we're going next and be with those donors today we're considering a gift to this work here today. Amen. And so how do you do this? Very simple. You go to coalitionlife.com/donate, coalitionlife.com/donate to be able to make that online donation. Or you can mail a check to our office, 11780 Borman Drive. That's 11780 Borman Drive, Suite 128. That's here in St. Louis, Missouri, 63146. All gifts must be postmarked by next Friday, May 10th. Make sure that gets postmarked in order for it to apply to the match. And yes, this is a all or nothing matching challenge, meaning if we do not hit the number, we no longer can collect on the $250,000 matching challenge. So we don't fundraise a lot. As you might notice, this is the first time this year we are asking for funds, and it's the first time we have an opportunity to double your donation here in this 8-day time frame. Also, there's actually a great opportunity for matching challenge with regards to monthlies. So monthlies are a great way to apply your ongoing donations throughout the entire year towards the matching challenge. So if you give a donation of $10 per month, or $100 per month, or $1,000 per month, that will immediately be doubled for the next 12 months and beyond. And so we're so excited to be able to continue to offer this opportunity for our donor base and be able to serve even more clients through what we do. Also, for those Missouri residents, I'd like to talk briefly about our tax credit opportunities. Here in the state of Missouri, we are so blessed to be able to run a fantastic pregnancy center, and we have an opportunity for the pregnancy tax credit. 70% of your donation could be wiped away through this tax credit. So a $1,000 donation could be out of pocket as little as $180 for that donation. And so to learn more about that, you can go to our website as well to learn about that process. You could even give upwards of $70,000 for a $50,000 tax credit as well. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to our team. We'd be glad to help you through that process of offering that tax credit to yourself and to your family members as well. Well, on behalf of our entire team, we are so incredibly blessed and thankful for this time we've had to spend together. Our clients thank you as well. And as I reflect here and I kind of wrap up, I think about the very first client that I met on the site. Her name was Deasia, and she came with a friend, and she walked up to that St. Louis abortion facility, and she was just looking for help. And she was looking for, where's this abortion facility? I want to go into the abortion facility, and I don't know what I'm doing here, but I was able to talk to her and her friend and work with them as well to be able to choose life for their baby. And it was just me, just standing on the sidewalk with a couple of brochures and doing what I could. And now we see thousands of people be able to implement these basic strategies and this opportunity to save lives on the sidewalk. And so sometimes I think of Deasia and this baby that was born who is now probably 12 years old. And just kind of thinking of the family tree that's going to grow because of the work that we are doing here today. So thank you very much. Thank you for being on the webcast. Make sure to share this with your family and your friend. And remember, it's an all or nothing matching challenge, $250,184. And we will see you on May 10th. Make sure to make those donations before then. I'm sure my team would love that as well. But make sure that you donate today and continue to help us to grow, expand right here in the St. Louis area, but also across the great nation so that we can save the most amount of lives. God bless you.